hour was come, he sat down, and the 12 apostles with him. And he said unto them, with desire, I have desired to eat this Passover with you before I suffer. Some of the other translations said it's with fervent desire that I eat this Passover. It is with deep longing. Now this is Jesus talking to his 12 before he was getting ready to go to the Garden of Gethsemane, and really before he was getting ready to die. So how many of us can say it's with fervent desire that I'm getting ready to suffer for my assignment? Can we say that? Most of us are trying to run from suffering. We don't want to go through stuff. But Jesus said that it's with fervent desire that I sit down with my disciples and let them know that this is going to be the last time that we meet in this way. And that's the type of desire that you have to have on the inside of you so that you can fulfill your destiny. See, my desire, my meat is to do the will of him who sent me and to finish his work. It's the reason that I wake up in the morning. It's the reason that I have breath in my body. It's the reason that I have to go through the things that I have to go through. It's because that's my meat. See, Jesus understood that I came to die for humanity. Because what if he wouldn't have died? Where would we be, you guys? Oh my God, who will lose out if you don't birth what God put on the inside of you? How many people will you not touch? Will you not impact if you don't do what he's called you to do? It is so Christian, and that's, I call that the appointed hour. See, he had to go through an appointed hour, and that appointed hour took him to the Garden of Gethsemane. Yes, he died on the cross, but guess what? He died in the Garden of Gethsemane, because he had to get to the place where he said, not my will, but thy will be done, Lord. I don't understand all of this that you've called me to, but I say yes to your will. And that's so important, you guys, because that's where we struggle at. We struggle there.
You know, just let me jump in for a minute. When you're saying that, I don't mean to cut you off, but when you're saying that, you think about it. If you don't, there have to be a death to self in order for you to birth the thing that God has called you to birth. Because the world with all their allurements and things are designed, Satan's things designed to pull you out of the will of God. I know you know what I'm talking about when I say this. How many times, because I can tell, I can pick it up and y'all really say it. Y'all say it for real. I can feel it. I'm not going by how I feel, but I can pick it up. But watch this now. How many of you, when you got ready to say, I'm going all in for God, and I'm talking about myself. I'm going to do everything God told me to do, and I'm on fire. I'm going to do it right on the heels of sin. There's something trying to pull you back. Say, no, you can live. See, the enemy, if he can't stop you from living for God, he'll start bringing up things like, well, no, if you're going to live that, like think about when you first got saved. You weren't cleaned up yet. You were saved. You loved God, but God had to do a work in you. And so what I'm saying is this. You make a decision at one point in your walk with Christ, I'm going to go all the way. I'm going to stop doing this. The enemy say, well, you're not going to be able to do this no more. You won't be able to do that. And you have to make a decision. How far do you want to go with God? And I'm saying in order to birth the greatness that God has put inside of you, you are going to have to say no to self in order to say yes to him. Because things will try to pull you out of the will of God. Look at Jacob. His brother Esau sold his birthright for a bowl of lentil soup. Now I'm out of it, considered gumbo, but not no. I'm kidding. Ain't nothing. There's no dish in the world well enough for you. But the point I'm trying to make is this: you laughing at him talking about him selling his birthright for a bowl of soup, lentil soup. I wouldn't give it at a ham. I wouldn't want it. And my point is this: he had an appetite. Something pulled him out of the will of God. My question is, what is your appetite? Because we all got one. What has been trying to pull you out of the will of God? I'm talking about tonight. I'm talking to myself. What has been trying to pull you out of the will of God? Because if nothing been working on you, you're not saved. And I just got through saying, I know all of y'all saved. That's why I don't even know what I'm saying. What has been trying to pull you out of the will of God and saying, okay, you've done enough. Don't go any further. If you're not mature in Christ, what you'll do is you'll say, okay, I love God. I've given my life to him. But how close on the edge can I live and still go to heaven? That's how the enemy wants you to think. And that's why we're talking about renewing your mind with the word of God. Be not conformed to this world. I went way off. I'm stopping. But let me just go here for a second. I was saying what you came out of, you must remain in and partake of in order to live. I started saying that. We came out of God. Or let me say it like this. Let me take it back. Well, the spirit man came from God. The flesh came from the soil of the earth. God formed Adam out of the dust of the ground. So in order for him to live, remember that's the principle, the law, the keys that Jesus gave us. In order to live, you must remain in and partake of what you came out of in order to live. So if you came out of the ground, you have to eat from the ground in order for this flesh body to live, this dirt, this lump of dirt. And let me tell you something, don't let anybody tell you that they're better than you. All of us are dirt when it comes to this flesh. And your dirt ain't no better than mine, and mine ain't no better than yours. It's dirt, all came from the same place. But in order to live, you have to eat dirt. Y'all say, uh-oh, I'm out of here, you talking crazy now. No, listen, just a moment, let me explain. When you plant a seed in the ground and it begins to grow, let's say, for example, a tomato, what are you eating? Somebody said a tomato, no, dirt. You're eating dirt. Well, let me ask you another question. When you're eating a steak, what do you eat?
Dirt.
What was it made out of? And what I'm saying, I can go on and on. But the food that we eat came out of the ground. It was dirt. We came out of the ground. And the law states you have to, what you came out of, you must remain in and partake of in order to live. So spirit man came out of God. God blew the breath of life in Adam. And Adam became a living soul. So if you cut yourself off from God, what happens? You're dying. God said to Adam, the day you eat of this fruit, or this tree, let me say it like that, the tree of knowledge, he ate from. Why wouldn't God want him to have more knowledge? Let me tell you something, quit trying to get all the knowledge you can. God don't want you to know everything. Now I know that's not popular teaching, but there's some things God don't want you to know. You don't have to take a look at it, or I'm looking at it so I can condemn it. No, just stay away from it, because there's some things that if you learn, it's going to be tough to unlearn. We talked about people who God said no sex before marriage, and they didn't listen. Now, I'm not beating up on nobody, but what I'm trying to say is this. God said you're about to wake up an appetite you're not going to be able to put back to sleep. So when he told them, don't eat of that tree, your eyes will be open. You will have knowledge. You'll know right from wrong. God never intended for them to know wrong. He wanted them to know right and holiness. Didn't want to know all the other stuff. But my point is, they didn't remain in who they came out of, and God told them that the day you eat of this tree, you will die. And just as sure he said it, his word, and he meant it. But now here's my point. What you came out of, you must remain in and partake of in order to live. How do you remain in God? One of the things you can do is stay in God's presence. That those nutrients, your birthrights, begin to stir up and germinate through praise and worship. That's why we like praise and worship so much here at the Night of Dream, because without it, you're not going to do much in life. You're going to have to learn how to bless God when everything is going wrong. I was, some weeks ago, or some months ago after surgery, I'm laying in bed, couldn't move my right arm at all. But all I can do is bless God and praise his name. Thank you, Lord Jesus. God, I bless you. And I'm not where I want to be right now, but you know what? The Bible said he will heal you for his name's sake. Amen. It's not, God said, it's not about you, this is about me. I'll put you on this planet, I got a job for you to do. If you step into it, I'll take care of all your business. Come on. We had someone tell us that if you do what God told you to do, if you take care of his business, he'll take care of yours. Amen. So I was telling him, I said, well, you know, I feel root bound. We was explaining the situation to him, and he said, listen, don't just grab your plant and go. Don't even get no dirt. It'll be dirt when you get there. Just get your plant and go right. So he said, just take care of God's business. We're doing Boss for the Children, 20 weeks commitment we made. And here I am dragging myself around, wasn't sure what was wrong with me at the time. But the point I made a commitment, and I honored it. And I tell you what, if I can honor mine, God will honor his. I went way out. You was going.
Well, his reputation is at stake. So, in other words, success is built in the product. Oh, amen. Success is built in us. Yeah. Before he formed us in our mother's womb, success was already built in us, because the reason why he had to heal you, Dolly, it was for his name's sake, because his reputation is on the line. So when you birth out what God gave you to birth out, his reputation is online. So you can't be a failure. You cannot quit, because success was built in the product before you had hands. Come on, y'all. I'm talking about success was already built in you, just like these Apple iPhones. If there's a malfunction in there, they tell you to send it back to the manufacturer, because they believe in their product enough to replace it or restore it. And God is the same way. When we mess up,
Come on.
when we don't do the things that we're supposed to do, his reputation is on the line. So all we have to do is go to him, Father, I'm sorry.
Come on,
I need
Mom.
to get it back together again. Because his reputation is at stake. So how dare you think you're not good enough for him?
Come
He
on.
built success in
Amen.
you. Oh my
Amen.
God.
Come
How
on.
can you lose
Come on.
with the stuff that you use? Come on, God.
Come on.
We have the Holy Spirit himself on the inside of us who knows everything. All I have to do is ask and seek and knock and ask and seek and knock, and then he will tell me what I need to know. So never ever again think that you are a failure.
Come on.
Y'all hear me?
Yes.
Because success was built in your DNA.
Amen.
Success was built in your DNA. And what's that, DJ?
I said designed to win.
Yes, you were designed, you were destined to win. Oh, man.
Amen.
The interesting part, what the enemy will do, he'll make you feel like you're not worthy of it.
Yes.
You know, my sister would tell me, you know, things are going so well for me, but then she'd get in fear, saying, you know, something's bad. I said, listen, cut it out.
Yeah, she was like, it's going so good, I know something's going to happen.
But how many know you shall have whatsoever you say?
Yes.
And every time it get good for, until I can get to do Romans 12 and 2, it's going to keep you to have a roller coaster ride. Now let me tell you, all of us have been dealing with some stuff, all of us. But if you just trust in God, you got to trust him. That's the whole thing about a Christian life. You had made a statement about suffering. Yeah. And but what about the suffering and legitimate?
There's two types of suffering.
Yeah.
Come on.
There's legitimate and there's illegitimate.
Right.
So who were you talking about the other day that has illegitimate suffering? It's a lot of us have illegitimate suffering because we do things that we're not supposed to do, and then we suffer. But when Jesus went to the cross, when he was in the Garden of Gethsemane, that was legitimate suffering. When I go through things for my purpose sake, that's legitimate. When you went through those birthing pains and all of that, that was legitimate suffering. Whether you liked it or not, it was legitimate.
It was legitimate.
Yeah, some of the things that we have to go through, you don't like it, but it's legitimate. You know, because we got to get to that place of death to self. And your flesh likes to complain and talk and do all of that other kind of stuff. But when you die, let me ask you a question. Can a dead man feel anything?
No.
If you kick him?
No.
All right, I ain't going to say no more on that.
And then, because now I'm going to get real controversial now. I'm warning y'all before I make this statement. Make sure, no religious, okay, all right. I got liberty to say it. You know, we talk about Romans 12 and 8, what is that? Not Romans 12, Romans, I think it's, 20, what's it, all things work for the good of those who love God? Which one is Romans?
That's
Romans 8, okay. Well, let me just give it to you. 8:28, 26 through 28, in fact.
Yeah.
And it says, all things work for the good of those who love God and are called according to his purpose. And I hear so many people going through hell. I mean, it was sent by Satan. And then they want to tell me that's working for my good. Satan is trying to kill you. That's not working for your good. Now, God can turn things around in your favor and make it work for your good, but